Yeah, and basically that's why I can never go back to Thailand. Anyway, welcome to the Black and White Swim Show. This is our first episode. I am your co-host, Elvis Burrows.
And I'm your other
And
co-host, Justin Max, JMax, and we're here to give you all our takes on the swimming world in black and white. First things first, we know a lot of you guys already know who we are. Good for you. But we know some of you probably don't, so we're going to hit you with some real quick bio action. Elvis and I have known each other almost 10 years now.
too
We
long.
met at University of Kentucky. We swam together all 4 years. We lived together for a couple of years. We stay in touch. We hang out when we can, and we like to get together and be nerdy and talk about swimming. Elvis was an NCAA All-American, a UK school record holder, a Bahamian national record holder. He swam in the '08 Olympics in Beijing, just missed out on qualifying for London in 2012, and is now training for Rio in 2016. And I am kind of cute. No. I was never as fast as Elvis at swimming, but after college I got into coaching. I spent 5 years coaching for my hometown team in Columbus, Ohio. And I just took a new position for head age group coach in a club team, for a club team out in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So there you go, you're all caught up to speed. Now you know why you should listen to the things we're about to tell you. Today, for our first episode, Elvis and I are going to hit you with the top 3 worst things about college swimming. Elvis, you ready to go?
Let's hit him with it.
All right. Number 3, third worst thing about college swimming is it's just not important enough to the top athletes. I'm not trying to say that top athletes don't care about it at all. That's hopefully not true. I'm sure they enjoy it while they're doing it, and they would do it more if they could. But I think no matter what you're doing in life, you want to have the best people doing it. Like if you're trying to shoot a movie, you want to get the best actors that you can. If you're trying to open a restaurant, you want to get the best chef that you can. If you're trying to have successful college swimming, you want the best swimmers that you can get. And for any number of reasons right now, like a lot of the top tier swimmers either aren't doing college swimming or aren't staying for the entire time or are putting it off for later than what they could. I mean, it was one thing when Michael Phelps didn't go to college because, I mean, he's Michael Phelps. Like, he's the greatest of all time, whatever. Like, of course he's not going to go to college. It's a one-time thing. Everybody else is still going to go for the 4 years. But just seems more and more, you got Michael Andrew obviously doing his thing at a super young age. You got Missy Franklin bowing out after 2 fantastic years. And then you got that kind of like the Olympic fever, Ledecky, Emmanuel. I'm sure there are more, maybe Nathan Adrian 4 years ago. It just seems like, again, not that it's not important to them, but it's not important enough to them to make them give up these other pursuits, and that's kind of sucks for college swimming.
Well, if I compare life now to then, it's just the pro swimming life is just way more lucrative now, especially since the popularity of Phelps and after '08 and more money got pumped into the sport. You have Katinka Hozu now who can easily make $1 million a year, which that would have never been heard of at this level. So I mean, what's the benefit of going to college? They say, oh, you can get a free education, but if I'm making $1 million a year, I can pay for that education and still profit. So I don't see the benefit of choosing to go to college if I have such a lucrative offer on my hands.
Yeah, you don't see the benefit, and unfortunately for college swimming, like some of these other stud swimmers don't see the benefit either, and that's kind of what's gotten us where we are. Number 2, second worst thing about college swimming, and I know I'm not like breaking any news right here, but it's just not important enough. Speaking of not important enough, it's not important enough to the schools, the colleges, the universities, and the administrations at those schools. Again, I know I'm not saying anything that like swim fans all over the place haven't said. It's nothing that we haven't whined about for years. But I think like the perfect example, you don't even have to leave the state of Kentucky where we went to school. Western Kentucky swim team, Western Kentucky University swim team, I guess I should say, may they rest in peace, got the hammer freaking dropped. Sorry, that's bad taste. Got the hammer freaking dropped on their program. I don't know what happened. Like, I have a vague understanding of what the allegations were. I don't know if that was an appropriate punishment or if it wasn't appropriate punishment. But they got the hammer dropped. Like, they got suspended for 5 years. Like, cards on the table, they're probably never coming back. And then you want to, like, pair that against, you go down the road, University of Louisville, and what's going on with their men's basketball team right now. Obviously, that's like a marquee, nationally ranked program, but I don't know how familiar you are, but there's some pretty serious allegations going on with that program right now, too. And again, like, I'm not informed enough to know what's true, what's not, who did what, who didn't do what, and what the punishment should or shouldn't be. But you can wager everything you have. The punishment's not going to be a 5-year suspension of the program and a firing of the entire coaching staff. Like, the more news comes out, they're talking like Rick Pitino's not even going to lose his job. So, I mean, just compare that. Like, it's clear what they care about and what they don't care about, huh?
I mean, yeah, but you really think about it, it comes down to business. You know, a college is a business at the end of the day. It comes down to revenue. The basketball team is going to bring in a bajillion more dollars than the swim team would ever bring in. In fact, the swim team is kind of like a parasite to the university. They just take and take, and they don't really bring anything. I mean, you bring in a few smart recruits, boost the GPA a little bit of the whole athletic department. You know, you get a few rec swimmers to come in there and pay their $5 a day to swim, but we're not bringing in these millions of dollars. You know, think about it as you're a farmer. You know, you got 7 fat cows who produce the best milk at all times, and then you have, you know, another 7 3-legged cows that just kind of go to the barn and make a mess every now and then. Who am I getting rid of?
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. You talk about, like, how little swim programs kind of, like, contribute to the university or whatever. I think the universities and the ADs are more concerned about what they can cause and take away. Like, how many swimmers from different schools have you had tell you or told us? Like, our AD straight up told us, we don't care how well you perform. All we care about is that you stay off the front page of the newspaper, because if the NCAA comes in to investigate you, then they're going to start looking at football, basketball, baseball, whatever. Like, sucks.
Yeah, well, again, it's a business. Get over it.
Suck it up. Okay, which I guess just leaves us with number 1. The absolute worst thing about college swimming.
The worst.
The worst thing about college swimming. It's boring. Like, really boring. And this is, don't get me wrong, it's not boring to me. I enjoy it immensely. And also, don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about NCs, and I'm not talking about, like, your good competitive conference meets. Those are super exciting. It's all kind of impressive performances. What I'm talking about is the 6-month bus tour around the Midwest that we had to take during the regular season. And like I said, like, I find regular season college dual meets entertaining and interesting. Like, I like to hop on some live results and see how my former swimmers are doing.
I don't.
But that's just because I'm sick and I'm a huge swim nerd. Like, just because I'm a loser and find it interesting doesn't change the fact that it is boring. And the biggest reason why it's boring is because that huge 6-month stretch that encompasses the vast majority of your season and your training, it doesn't matter. Like, dual meets don't matter. Invitationals matter a tiny bit, in the sense that, like, it can take some pressure off of you from posting times at conference, but anything you do there, you can do at your conference meet. And, like, how many times did we go into a dual meet, or do they go into a dual meet now, and you know which team is gonna win? Like, you go into that meet and you're like, well, I guess, no offense intended, like, Florida A&M could beat the University of Florida if University of Florida false starts 3 out of 4 guys in every single event. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no intrigue, there's no mystery. It's boring.
See, The results are so predetermined, and I like how these coaches try to be sneaky about it. Where at the end of the meet, you see who's going to win, so they exhibition a few swimmers, so the other side feels good about themselves, and you're like, oh, you know, West University lost by 20 points. That's not too bad, is it? It's like, actually, they've been exhibitioning since the 50 free. They lost by 100. So I don't get it. Like, this isn't kids t-ball. We shouldn't be like tapering the scores for people's feelings. Let them know they lost.
On that, like, first of all, you're exactly right. Like, when's the last time you flipped on a college football game and like somebody's getting blown out, so the team that's winning decides like, oh, we're only gonna play 8 guys instead of 11 the rest of the game to make things seem like they were a little bit closer. I have no factual basis for this whatsoever, and that's not going to stop me from saying it, obviously. But the whole like exhibitioning events at the end of the meet has always read to me like it's just kind of like this, like, I don't know, BFF coaches thing where they're all covering each other's backs. So like the AD's not breezing through the results like, holy whatever, we lost by 300 points? Like, oh, we were swimming against Auburn and we only lost by 12. We must be doing something right. Yes. Like, what? I don't know.
Somebody's getting
fired.
We
seriously in, like, the feeling-saving business in D1 collegiate athletics? Like, that's what that is about? Is, like, that has flabbergasted me from the moment I stepped on campus and was like, hold on, what now?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing until I got to college, and I'm wondering if any of the listeners now even know that exists, because they always say, oh, it came down to such a close meet between, you know, Tennessee and Indiana. Yeah, right. You're like, no, it didn't. I digress.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be about. So there you have it. Top 3 worst things about college swimming. I'll take no argument. That list is ironclad. There's absolutely nothing we missed, absolutely nothing we threw on there that didn't belong.
All right. Thank you for that, JMax. And next we have our first guest ever, a special guest, a good friend of mine, hopefully a good friend of the show. His name is Dax Hill from Round Rock, Texas. He's a 3-time NCAA champion, 8-time All-American, 2-time Honorable Mention American, 7-time Big 12 champion, 2-time gold medalist at the 2011 World University Games. Dax, did I miss anything?
Oh.
Did I miss anything?
No. You could just, throw it in there how handsome I am, but,
I'm not in the business of lying to our audience.
Okay, so you definitely should have said it then.
Oh, man, Dax. How you doing? Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. We're going to let JMax lead off this first question for you, and let's get this going.
Yeah, Dax, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. First things first, obviously you swam at Texas. Elvis just listed off how absolutely fantastic you were, in addition to being just wonderfully good looking. My question is about Eddie Reese. I've never met Eddie. Everyone who has nothing but good things to say about him, about what a fantastic coach and how patient and whatever. I want to hear about the dark side of the man. Like, I want to hear, what is the maddest you have ever seen Eddie Reese get with either you, another swimmer, a waiter who messed up his order at dinner, just something. Like, give me a story about Eddie just losing it on somebody.
Eddie doesn't get mad, man. No.
Oh, don't cover for him, Dax. Come on, man. You're out of college.
I'm dead serious. I've never seen Eddie mad. I've seen him disappointed, but never mad. And he doesn't even get disappointed that often. Like, he's very, I feel like I'm totally letting you guys down. But
give us an impression of his disappointment.
Give me a time that. Yeah. Give me. You had a bad practice because you ate bad and you had a bunch of pizza and candy the night before. What does Eddie say to Dax Hill? Does he come at you straight grandfather, like, Dax, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed with your son? How's that go down?
Oh man. Like I said, it's just a.
All right, let me try this. Give me a time that Eddie should have been mad at you and should have lost it on you, but he didn't, because either he didn't know or because he's a better man than me and can control his temper.
You're bad at this.
I thought it was a good question.
You don't understand. He is if something goes bad, he'll like pull us aside. Like we'll have a meeting about it, and usually like the team kind of self-regulates itself. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's, but if somebody's gonna get mad at you, it's gonna be like a senior. It's not gonna be Eddie or Chris. You know? So like if you're like out too late or something, like somebody on the team is gonna say something before Eddie and Chris say something about it.
That's pretty cool.
Do you ever have a senior have to get mad at you?
No, not probably. Of
course not.
Messing up.
All right. Fair enough. I tried.
Yeah, I'm serious though. Like, Eddie is a very super like laid back guy. Like I feel like it's very different because of the culture we have that something like that happens where the team kind of polices itself. But he coaches, he, you know, talks to us, he tells us how things are ran here, and then after that, the seniors kind of, he lets them run the ship. And obviously, if they mess up, he steps in, but that doesn't really happen.
Well, while we're on the topic, you were sitting in with the top 3 reasons of why college swimming sucks. If there's one thing you could change about college swimming in your experience, what do you think that would be?
Man, I don't know. I think, like we were just talking about, like that would make it a more lucrative sport or get more people into it. Because I feel like it depends on what you mean by sucks. You know what I mean?
I guess that was a harsh word.
Yeah, that was awfully rude,
I mean,
man.
then it needs to be more exciting. Like, you got to do something, because nobody cares about swimming. Like, you can swim fast, but, you know, it's not like it's not a practical skill to have, you know? Like, being able to jump is cool, and people wish they could jump high. Being able to run fast is cool. Being 300 pounds, but running a 4.5 40 is cool, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it needs to have a better display of athleticism than jumping off a block.
Okay. So we should be like jumping off a block into like a ring of fire while they're diving off the high dive.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. He's got me.
But I mean, like, if you
Dax. Oh, go ahead, man.
Time out and like do some other type of sport thing. Like,
now you're getting into CrossFit. Let's get out of here. But anyway, so the Minnesota Grand Prix is coming up. The FINA World Cup is going on right now, and I'm not seeing Dax in any of the heat sheets or any of the psych sheets or anything. What's going on? You got something to tell us?
No, if this is about me being retired, like, first of all, I'm very bad with goodbyes. Like, I'm the guy that's just going to be like, you know, I'm just going to. So, but like, I'm not. For the record, I'm not retired. I'm just, you know, chilling right now. I'm coaching over here in Round Rock. If it is retired, then it is what it is. But, you know, I'm still swimming. I can still push 10-second underwater. So, still got the skill.
So you're retired, but you're not retired.
Yeah, I'm on right now.
Are we going to see you at trials?
No.
Sounds like retirement to me, buddy.
I don't know, man. You understand, like, I finally figured out how to use my arms I got sick, and like that's kind of when I went on this huge hiatus. But
how long has it been?
I got sick. It was back in June.
Okay.
So yeah, let's see, May. Yeah, back in the end of May, I finally figured out how to use my arms. So, like, I have a reason to stay in shape. You know what I mean?
Okay. Being a little vague, but I guess I'll accept it for now.
Oh, like, if you want to say I'm retired, I'm retired. But, you know, if I show up in a meet all of a sudden,
I won't be mad.
It's because I wasn't.
Call it a comeback tour, man.
Yeah. We won't be mad if we see you at a meet.
Yeah, I know, man. Everybody loves me.
Can't argue with that. All right. I think we're going to try to get you out of here on this, Dax. Elvis and I kind of came up with this little game.
All right.
We're calling it swimming celebrity lookalikes. So the idea is you pick somebody from the swimming world and you come up with a description of what they actually look like. Like, we're not trying to judge the person on the content of their character. Like, we're looking for purely physical here. But the idea is, like, we don't want to be simple with it. Like, you get points in theory for being creative, for being funny, and for just being like over the top ridiculous. So I'm gonna give you a couple examples. Like, it's okay to say Elvis Burrows looks like Carlton Banks from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because he does. And you get points for accuracy, but you don't really get points for like creativity or uniqueness, because everybody already knows that Elvis and Carlton are like the same person. On the other hand, like, it'd be okay to say that JMax looks like one of Santa's elves who's unhappy with his life because he secretly wants to be a dentist instead of making toys. Because it's accurate, but you also stole it from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, so you don't get bonus points for that.
Funny.
So what we want to do...
Doug funny?
What's
on
that?
The show Doug?
You think I look like Doug Funny? Man, get out of here. Dax, who invited you on this program anyways, man? So what I want to do is I want to hit you with one. Elvis is going to hit you with one. And then we want you to be the judge of, I don't know if we're looking for which one's funnier or which one's more accurate, just whichever one you think is better.
So y'all are doing this. I'm judging.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the special guest celebrity judge for our first throwdown here. Okay. After all the nice things you said about him, I almost feel like I should apologize again in advance. I want to remind everyone that this is not meant to be mean.
Think it out.
All right. I'm going to say Eddie Reese looks like Batman's arch nemesis, the Penguin, after he's taken off his top hat and retired from a life of crime. And now he spends his days at the retirement home playing bridge with the other supervillains. And he keeps making bad fish puns and then laughing at them going, meh, 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 meh. You see what I'm saying, though? Like, you put the top hat on him, the man looks like he's a penguin, right? All right.
Yo,
I'm sorry, Coach.
The reason I freaked out when you brought the Batman reference is because mine came with a Batman reference, and this is a complete coincidence. We had not discussed it prior at all, but my pick was Jimmy Fegan. Jimmy Fegan looks like he would be the guy that dresses up as Robin for Halloween and try to hit on girls who are obviously trying to get with Batman. And then when he gets rejected, instead of just moving on, he goes on the whole spiel as to why Robin is the better superhero and Batman just takes the credit.
Huh. So wait, are we going for like the accuracy of y'all's statement or funny, or is it a combination?
It's a combination. Whatever you want.
Give us a little rundown, man. What did you like and what did you not like about each one?
I feel like for Elvis, that was good. Up until the why Robin is better. He'd probably do some like slick, like undermining, like Inception stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is why you really don't like Batman because
he's a Jedi in disguise.
Robin home the chick, and then on the Penguin one, the corny jokes. Like Eddie he has a lot of corny ones in his arm. He like cycles them every 4 years, so the people who stay around for like a fifth year like catch all the ones from freshman.
Oh, that same one again, yeah. I think we
Penguin.
all know a coach like
I
that.
gotta go with the Penguin.
All right. That's racist, but all right.
1-0. 1-0. Thank you,
Hey,
Dax.
Dax, thanks for joining us. It was a fun time. Hope to have you back on the show sometime, man. Appreciate it.
Man. Yeah, I'm out here in these Twitter streets.
Yeah, you can follow Dax Hill at Dax Hill. Follow him on Twitter, guys. All right, we'll talk to you later, Dax.
Peace.
Thanks, Dax. All right, so that's it for Dax, and that's actually it for us as well. We want to thank you guys for giving us a click and checking it out. We hope to be back next week with another episode, another mystery guest to judge and see if I can't take my record on swimming celebrity lookalikes to 2-0 over Varence over there.
Man, I'm calling the race card on that one.
Ooh, but Until then, this has been Black and White Swim Talk with your hosts, Elvis and JMax. We'll see you next time.